1905, Bengali Nobel laureate Irving wrote the patriotic lyric, "Jodi tor ডাক শুনে কেউ না আসে, তবে একলা চলো রে." If having heard your call, nobody comes, then let us go on our own. Apart from any Bengali-speaking members in our audience today, he's 6'4", I can't quite see him. Oh, right there, right there. These words might not particularly strike you as powerful. At first glance, they are simple instructions of what to do if you're on your own. Instructions even a kindergartner can understand. But powerful words these are indeed. What a revolutionary thought it is. If nobody comes after hearing your call, go alone. If nobody comes after hearing your call, go alone. My dearest teachers, administrators, friends, parents, friends of parents, parents of friends, friends of teachers, teachers of friends. Did I miss anything? To what extent did I miss it? You know, if I did my EE properly, my research suggests that. Ah, yes, I forgot Mr. Ventura. Sorry. Oh, by the way, Mr. Ventura, can I use this as my cast project? All right, I'll put it in management. Okay, now that that's sorted out, thank you all for your presence today. It means so much to me and to our entire class that you would spend your Wednesday evening celebrating the completion of our formative years at Northwoods. Today is an acknowledgement of all that has gone in. The countless hours of studying, day and night, the exams passed with flying colors, the papers torn to shreds, the countless $20 bills, mostly wrinkled and weathered, but one or two of those crisp, perfectly ironed 20s, spent on noble and not so noble causes. Relationships built, those broken faster than the first words were uttered in those very relationships. The endless ladders climbed, and the falls from the highest pinnacles, but above all, the elegant beauties of our universe, discovered in a matter of a few seconds in comparison to the grand cosmic scale of the universal. If John Keats is correct that beauty is truth, truth beauty, that is all ye know on earth, and all ye need to know, we, my friends, have discovered truth. Not just any truth, but capital T truth in the words of our very own Socratic scholar of the subtleties in literature, Mr. Irving. But is truth and beauty all we know on earth? And is it all we need to know? In today's postmodern society, where knowledge can be accessed and disseminated before the twitch of the nose, well, technically it's before the action potential of the neurons causes acetylcholine to my receptors with muscle fibers, but you know what? I'll just leave the HO bio to Mrs. Rao, who's watching today. Hi, Ms. Rao. Hashtag oogenesis, of course. That's a HO bio. Anyways, in today's postmodern society, where knowledge can be accessed and disseminated before the touch of the nose, it is too often that falsities beguile our characters. Slithering behind our ears, singing the songs of the sirens, these falsities drive us to solipsistic tendencies. Instead of us approaching the universe laid out directly in front, we often force the universe to fit our preconceived notions of how reality ought to be. How selfish of us, yet how indicative of our belief that to get ahead in life, the world needs to conform to our standards in order to prove ourselves right. Perhaps we find that being correct is an evolutionary imperative, necessary for the survival of our species. We all know that selfishness is bad, and perhaps we don't do this consciously. Oh, the number of times I've seen attempts of proofs that the left-hand side of an equation equals the right-hand side of an equation, starting with the very assumption that they are equal, making some changes here and there, throwing in some algebra to look fashionable, and then ending with the QED, quod erat demonstrandum, what was to be shown. Let me make this clear for those who are not in HL mathematics, or geometry for that matter, where we have to prove that a triangle is a triangle. This is like starting a race at the finish line, running around in zigzags, and then ending at the finish line and saying, "Look, Mommy, I finished the race." At this point, Mrs. Raja promptly comes in to say with her Balkan bite, "No, kiddo," or even better, "Allow me, stop it." To be honest, this is how I started doing math too, and writing arguments in English, and probably most other subjects too. Starting at the end, hopping like a frog from here to there to here, and landing at the same lily pad I began with. I thought, I'm so good at this. I'm so good at this. And people believe me. But then it hit me. Making fools of others, that's an NHP. But making a fool of myself, what was I doing? When one only sees their shadows in the caves their entire lives, and then climbs up out of the cave to see the reality of the sun shining its radiant beams diffusing through the atmosphere, the land, the water. It's painful, it hurts. It almost rips your brain apart. When I realized that I was fooling nobody other than myself, I pushed myself to see truth, to see beauty. Oh, but it hurts. It's not easy to start doing things the right way when you've been doing them wrong your entire life. I started reading books like I meant, focusing on one section or even one word for hours upon end, thinking about its implications on society as a whole. Instead of reading tons and tons and exclaiming, "Look at how many books I read this week," I started sitting with math problems I couldn't solve, refusing to look at the solution, even for the tiniest hint, because I told myself that I would sit there until I figured it out, even if my head hurt from immense thought, even if I had a test the next day on a completely different topic. Why? Because when you see it being that moment when all the pieces of the crossword puzzle match, when all the dominoes just collapse in perfect sequence, when the chord aligns in perfect harmony, you see the world in a new way. And you can never return. And that feeling is the greatest satisfaction one can feel. Not that of fame, not that of power, not that of wealth. It is the feeling when you aspire towards truth and see it. I have had the immense honor of witnessing it among all of you. For example, our soon-to-be weed-shopping aerospace engineer once told me, "I finally see why understanding the concept is so important." He knew that he could do the calculations properly with tricks and shortcuts. On second thought, maybe not, I don't know. We'll have to see. But one day, he told me, "I understand." He saw it. At that moment, I knew that crazy clown of an Andrew Sauls actually appreciated the truth for the power it was. In a world where we are constantly bombarded with he said, she said, in a world where likes on social media posts matter more to us than waving hello to a neighbor who passes by on the street as the breeze blows by us all on a beautiful spring day. In a world where status seems to matter more than truth, we begin to lose beauty. We stop looking at humanity and we start focusing on ourselves. But no man is an island. We are all intertwined with each other, our paths interwoven. Using the words of Dr. Fern, I can already hear the grrr coming, also known as Ms. Schulte, what a pretty picture it is that this exact combination of people in this exact permutation of seats is present today and arranged in this particular manner. That is truth. That is beauty. Why shut everyone else out to put yourself on top when you begin to lose your integrity? Why cunningly scheme to rise ahead while putting on the facade of loyalty and trust? Why entangle yourself with the dismal, the dark, the desolate world of lies, when instead, beauty is truth, truth, beauty, that is all you know on earth and all you need to know. So let us stop meddling and start mending. So let us stop chasing after power and start with flower. Deliver truthful hope, not interlope. See the light, even if it's quite bright. As I attend the University of Texas at Austin in a few weeks, following the footsteps of UT alumna Ms. Robles herself, I hope that I may continue to aspire towards seeing the light. I hope that one day I can be the mentor that all of the teachers, parents, friends, and even our underclassmen like my younger sisters here today have been to me. That I may inspire a new generation of humankind to see the beauty, to see the truth. But after all this talk about our interconnectedness and our shared pursuit of truth, why would a Nobel laureate so lyrically write in the Bengali language? The idea that if nobody comes after hearing your call, we must go alone. Is that not advocating for the opposite of what we have arrived at today? On the contrary. Rabindranath Tagore himself wrote that beauty is truth's smile when she beholds her own face in a perfect mirror. I must confess that by my nature, I'm a people pleaser. However, one of the greatest things that I've learned in high school, and I must thank Mrs. Young, whom you might still know as Ms. Hargrove, is that when you know you have seen the truth in something, the beauty in it, and you have felt that feeling unlike any other when everything just makes sense, you have no option but to stand your ground, even if everybody around you says otherwise. That is the power of truth. That is the power of beauty. If nothing else, I hope that you carry this message with you. I tell you this because I genuinely do love all of you, and that is truth. That is beauty. That is all I know on earth.